Hi guys, welcome to Sip and Speak with Rama. It's a very beautiful weather today, so I'm sitting outside. I had recorded like a full video last week. I'm talking about almost 30 minutes of interesting events that had happened over the course of the week. And then only to realize that the audio was missing. Shame. Anyway, I hope you guys had a wonderful time. At the time when I recorded this, it was Ghana and Panama. And it was just 2 hours before the match was going to start. So I didn't know if they were going to. I mean, of course, I didn't know the score. So I was in my entire jersey. An interesting thing happened. But before I start that, if you haven't watched The Polygamist, as a person that's like a movie savvy, it's okay. It's not a bad movie, honestly. Storyline is where the whole thing happened. My neighbor has decided to cut his grass today, of all days. We're not based on anything. I made some. Anyway, I watched The Polygamist. Like, it was an omnibus for me. I kind of binge watched it. I had a day off. It's 22 episodes. I got my wine, of course, non-alcoholic. I wore some comfortable clothes, and of course, just turned everything dim, creating that ambience to, experience everything. And I watched it. It was incredible. Like, I was always at the edge of my seat. As a movie savvy, I didn't feel the suspense. For some reason, I knew what was going to happen. However, I just wanted to be in the moment. I think that's the downside of, watching too much movies and understanding plots and all of that. Sometimes you're not even surprised. And it kind of takes the beauty out of it. But, I'd say it's a very good storyline. And what I would say is that, personally, if anybody asked me who the villain in the movie is, I'd say it's Essie. The first woman Janasi came in contact with. The first woman while he was young. Now, seeing this woman, knowing how this man behaves, or how he's likely to behave, she could have stopped it. However, what did she do? She became an enabler, which at the end of the day, you could all see. We all witnessed how she watched all the other women that he came in contact with. She watched all of them break down and all of that. And she didn't say nothing. Hence, at the scene where she was not allowed into his room, when she presented at the door with some food to bring to him when he was sick, and Joyce was like, "No, you cannot come." I was with Joyce. I would have done the same thing. Obeying. Like, for what? You watch me go through this shit with this man, a fellow woman, and you didn't do shit. You could have given me a heads up. You didn't. And now you want to bring him food? You are a joke. Joyce is the victim. However, how long can you be a victim? Once you realize that shit is about to go down, the kitchen is getting hot, pack your things and leave. What have you got to lose? Especially in Joyce's case. She's rich. She came from a rich family. In fact, it was her family that made Janasi who he is. So what was she in there for? I understand she really loved the man. Sometimes love can just overpower you, take over your mentality, your psyche, your reasoning. In fact, at the end of the day, you might end up thinking with your feet. And I'm saying this because I have been, not that I have been a victim of Joyce's situation, but I have found myself one time where, but I did not creep on the floor begging him to stay. No, that's one thing you won't find me doing. I always think about the always. I'm like, but I'm saying I have loved somebody head over heels before. Why not? When your eyes open, it's open. Mm. And so the scene where Donasi decided to leave, and this beautiful Joyce woman with all her glory was on the ground touching his garment. As in Jesus' time, no, the woman touching the hem of the garment, touching his garment, begging this man not to leave and stuff like that. No, it was worrisome to watch. It was troubling. It had me. It had me, Palm. And the man knowing that he had options. Remember on his birthday, when nobody decided to put in the effort for his birthday, he went to Woman Joyce, thinking that Joyce is always big on his birthday, so he was expecting this all the time because Joyce is gonna go all out. Joyce was like, nah, not today, bitch. Not today, you ET looking motherfucker. And then Jonasi went to Matipa. Now, Matipa is somebody I'm very disappointed in. When I saw her in the scene, I thought she was the one going to teach Jonasi a lesson, knowing the kind of man that Jonasi is. Sometimes side chicks, they play a very good role in the society. I don't care what anyone says. Maybe they are there to teach men, you know, lessons. And in this case, I thought Matipa was going to teach this man a lesson. Only for Matipa to have a baby by this man and be another version of Essie, except that she lived in the higher end. There was no difference between Matipa and Essie. The only difference is Essie lived in Soweto, Matipa lived in the the higher end. That's it. Other than that, there's no difference. The way I don't know, and I'm say, wow. And the thing is, what is more troubling? This is happening in the society. This is happening. It's so relatable. And that's the reason why it's troubling watching every scene in this movie or this TV show. It's happening. And I feel like at some point in time, some schools can inculcate stories like that. And I don't care if anybody says that it's too graphic. Well, we can put some censorship in there. However, schools should inculcate this for people to watch, especially girls and boys, because everybody learns a lesson from it. I'll tell you, this is one of the most logic or one of the most efficient and effective way of teaching people or having people to learn. I'll tell you, you make them see the graphic representation of whatever is being put in the book. That way is more relatable, and that way when they find themselves in that situation, they know how to go about it. You can't always be given the book and this happening, boom, boom, and this happening, boom, boom. Sometimes I need to see it in play. You know, I need to see it in play. What I say? And so while I was in school, I enjoyed movie times and all of that. When I was in school and it was like movie night or whatever, the movies were carefully selected. Yeah, those were nice. I did learn some lessons from them. It's up to whoever, but I did learn some lessons from. You'll be surprised how much lesson I learned from Romeo and Juliet. And again, I'd say that Juliet had opportunity to save Romeo. No, wait, is it Romeo and Juliet? Wait, what's the one that had the Titanic? Jack and Rose. Yes, Jack and Rose. So I feel like Rose had all opportunities to save Jack on that sledge while she was underwater. It was a matter of choice, because I'm telling you, with the dimension given of the sledge, based off on the history and the reports made, there was enough space for that man to have come for her to have made that man come on that sledge for all of them to float on the water. I don't care. Go and look at the evidence, the dimensions and everything. Even though it was a little bit slanted, there was enough space for Jack or Rose to have made Jack come by her side so that man didn't have to die in the water. It was a matter of choice, and it tells me there was some sort of animosity, maybe that we didn't know. It was all lovey-dovey. But anyway, that's enough. Let me tell you this, T. Some time ago, I did go on a date. I like to talk about these things because they are funny They're witty, they're relatable, they're interesting. Some time ago, I went to the date. This person I met, we had gone to this restaurant somewhere in Atlanta. The restaurant overlooked a cemetery. This man and I had good conversation. We had good drinks. I'm not really much of a drinker, so just a little pint. Nice a minute it's me. But anyway, so I had tacos. He had whatever he had to have. We had good conversation. Impressive. One way to win me over is if you can hold a conversation. We talk about everything. And then when I say everything, anything. Starting from politics, government, sex, romance. Starting from home, Accra, Ghana, Iraq, Afghanistan. I love those kind of conversations. So we did have those conversations. He was fun to, date with or whatever. And I guess he saw me to be also an interesting person or whatever. Just that he enjoyed my personality or whatever. And it was getting late, and of course I was ready to go. When I got said, "Oh, do you want to take a walk?" And I said, That's the time. So I was wearing like a very long heel. I didn't know his height, and I don't care. I'm just, trying to look cute. And I'm saying heel. The heel was about 6 inches. If you know me, you'll know that medically I am 5'1". Yeah, medically I'm 5'1". But I feel like I'm trans height. So if you asked me what my height was, I'll tell you 5'4". But if you saw me in person, I can prove to you that I'm 5'4". Only if you don't ask me to take off my shoes. But anyway, he said, "Can we walk? You want to take a walk?" And I said, "Oh, why not? Let's go digest it." I'm a very fun person. And he, okay, I'm not going to say wait, but yeah. He told me, "And take your walk." And I said, "Well," and I look left and right, I'm saying, because this was literally my hood. Like, I lived in Midtown for a while. So this was literally my hood. So I'm like, if we go beyond that, there's nothing there. If we go beyond that, there's nothing. I know it's a walk, but we need to have some scenic view. What did I say? Bars, crackheads, weed stops, baby. And so I suggested to him, you know what? There's a cemetery overlooking us. Do you want to walk through the cemetery? I couldn't hear him anymore. Say, cemetery? You want us to walk through the cemetery at 8 o'clock? And I'm saying, why? Did you kill somebody? Are you scared? Or you think somebody is going to hunt you? If they'll hunt you, you think it's in the cemetery? Do you even think whoever you killed was buried here? So he looked at me some type of way, and I was like, yeah. You did say you like spontaneity, right? Yeah, I'm the queen of spontaneity. Bring it home. But until so we walked towards the cemetery and we opened the gates and we were there. We were looking at the tombstones. I was like, wow, marble tombstone, beautiful. That person must really be resting in peace. If I left, and I said, what? That's a nice one. Oh, look at that. Mother and daughter and father. Family clicking. We are walking and he's kind of like a bit uncomfortable, shaky. Not because he's in the cemetery. He's wondering who he's walking with. At some point he made a statement. He said, "Hey, wait, are you one of them?" I said, "One of who?" Are you asking if I'm a ghost? If I was a ghost, trust me, Atlanta would be the wrong state. I'll be in Louisiana. New Orleans. That's where the folks are. But I just told him, I just like, fun stuff, and what's the worst that can happen? That a ghost will come out? We don't know them. They're not going to do shit. Come on, let's walk along. And then overlooking us, he even pointed to me. Oh, look at that. Kenny Rogers was buried there. And I'm so, wow, sweet. Let's go there. In fact, if possible, let's take a picture. I want to take a picture. That way they know I'm there, So we walked towards Kenny Rogers' tombstone. Honestly, throughout the cemetery, his look stood out. It was very pretty and all of that. I was like, wow, he must be really resting in peace, in pieces. So we went there. I mean, of course, I didn't take a picture. That would be really weird, right? No, I didn't take a picture. But the good thing they did in the cemetery is that at every vantage point, they do have some seats. I guess anticipating them when families come to visit their family members, they'll just take a little breather and rest and rethink or whatever. So me and those guys sat on one of these little chairs. It was like a lav chair. It's not I like you, and I would say, you, I know. This. I say, I like you, and I would say, I know. I just was because I like you too. Yes, sir. I mean, it's too early to do that. He was a nice person. I say, I like him. I say, I want to see her. One son is normal. It's summer. And this is Georgia. Peaches are spread all over. It's expected. So, yeah. So I say, I like you. I would like to see her. That's my cat. Zeke, you're doing too much. I say, I'd like to see you more. I was like, really? You don't live here. I'll say, I'll make time for you. I said, I know you will. I know you will. Well, we are going to consider this. I want us to go on another date. I guess our second one. And while he interjected himself and he said, oh, you know what? Maybe a third one because this cemetery walk is probably the second date that we are having. And I guess I'm going to tell my friends that about this event. I'm so wow, cool. So wow, cool. So I guess now we started holding hands and walking in the cemetery while holding hands. And this time around, it was like 9:30. So we got to the gate. It was locked. The gate was locked. Now, if I was by myself, I would have jumped over the wall. If I was with somebody I knew or something, I would have jumped over the wall. But this time around, I had to put my ladylike. I was like, oh my God, it's locked. But the inner me knew I wanted to jump over that wall. Those of you who know me, you know I could have. I could have jumped over the wall. I would jump and even carry him with me. But I was like, oh my God, oops. The door is closed, the gate is closed. What are we going to do? And it's like things like this, I don't panic or nothing. But as a lady, show a little bit, and I would say, oh my God, I can't believe this. It's locked. The cemetery is locked. So he was like, what are we going to do? He said there's another gate, which is the main gate or whatever. And I would say, yeah, we need to go find that. It's getting dark. Oh, now it's a Miss Ruby San. Miss Ruby. Miss Ruby. Vietnam. And I said Costa Rica. I've seen worse. I found myself in worse places. So we went to find the other gate. Luckily for us, we met the security. And then I asked him one question. Does this happen often? Do you often see black people walking through a cemetery full of white deads? He said no. And I said, bingo. That's crossed off the list. So we walked out of the cemetery. And then I guess that experience was just a bundle of joy for not only me, but for the little man or the man that I came with. He left knowing that he'll meet me again, but he left with joy knowing that he had experienced something unexperiencable with the most spontaneous girl he's ever met in Georgia. That's the story I have for you. I'm super excited I got to experience that, and I got to make him jump. Guess what he saved my number as on his phone? Cemetery Girl. I like that. I was like, way to go. And so the next day he texted me and he said, good morning, Cemetery Girl. I was like, I have some exciting news. The thing about it is I have started something. Most of you that know me know that I love to travel. Based on this travel adventures that I've gone through, one of the key things I realized was very, very important, which is very important, is accommodation. when you think of traveling, sometimes you're scared of where am I going to sleep. We're all used to the Airbnb situation. Sometimes you want to feel home at home. Sometimes it's a little bit impossible. The hotel situation is just too normal. And so, based on all my experience with traveling to different places and experiencing different accommodation options, I have created something beautiful. It's called Nomad's Nest. It's right here in the heart of Georgia. If you ever come to Georgia, the website is still in the works. It's almost done. Not almost complete. We're almost ready to start taking reservations. Probably by the end of July or something, or maybe in the middle. But I'm always going to give heads up. If you're not following our social media page, go to Instagram and search Nomad's Nest. I'm going to put it at the end of the video, and then you're going to see. Anytime you come in Georgia, I have created something beautiful. Beautiful rooms, beautiful furniture, beautiful outdoor escape, equidistant to all the things you love, proximal to everything you love, to downtown. Just 1 minute from the I-20 or I-28. I sometimes don't know the difference, but I know the highway that leads to all the places. Just 1 minute from there. Surrounded by the sweet water, 15 minutes to downtown, just in the heart of Atlanta. And when you come to the rooms, I put my heart into this thing. You will love it. You go out for all your adventures, you come back and you know you have a home, not a place, a home to lay your head. Everything is in it, with different rooms, with different themes, furniture that feng shui was considered, all the deco feng shui was considered. So when you come, everything is aesthetically pleasing, neutral tones to relax your brain. Everything is available. We have a laundry room, a living space, TV area. We have a whole backyard full of all the amazing, sitting area for you to relax. And if you are white, I'm not going to say black, if you're white and you want to tan a little, we have some bed rest for you to tan, to overlook the sun and all of that. We also have transportation opportunity offers for you as well. We have lineup activities and all of that. So it's a whole lot. So once the website is ready, I'm going to post it up. But for now, follow the Instagram page, Nomad's Nest. And very soon, reservation bookings will be open. But until then, continue following Afro_Foods. That's the food business. Some of you have been doing that and you've been putting in your orders. I'm super excited, and all the stores that we supply to, we really appreciate that, and we hope that the market will keep going and soaring and all of that. But until then, thank you always for following. Please subscribe, share this video, subscribe, and enjoy the rest of the week. And continue to be yourself, live your life effortlessly, live your life like it's the last, because you never know. But I'm also geared up for Ghana's match with Colombia next week. I'm super excited. I'm scared. I don't know what to feel. But yeah, thank you for catching me up every week. I'm trying to be consistent with this. So yeah, until then, bye-bye.